Tonight's video I'm super excited about because ever since this car came out, I've been enamored by the thought of it. And even more exciting, with Lexus announcing that they will be selling GR level vehicles at their dealerships, a GR Corolla review just seemed to make sense. I'm Dustin Mason from Performance Lexus in St. Catharines. Make sure you hit like and subscribe for more Lexus and Toyota related content. And big shout out to Joey and Michael over at Performance Toyota, who, team effort-wise, let me get my hands on this GR Corolla. So one of my favorite things about this car is how much of a sleeper it really is. From first blush, it looks like just a regular Corolla hatchback with maybe some wheels, maybe some accents blacked out. But for those who know, know. Under the hood is a 300 horsepower, 3-cylinder turbocharged engine that is the first time this brand has been able to achieve 100 horsepower per cylinder, and in an all-wheel drive platform that's manual transmission. All of those combined, I think, are going to create a legendary driving experience, one that reminds me of the old days, like the GT4 Celica days where you had big horsepower, all-wheel drive, manual transmission, all of the fun things to make a truly spectacle of a driving experience. So let's do a little bit of looking around. From the front end, again, you're gonna make it look, or you're gonna make the assumption that it's just a regular Corolla. We got some venting, an intercooler down there. I always thought it was interesting that some of them have like a sprayer for that intercooler. I think that's on the higher packages, and just a regular front bumper. Zooming out though, you start to notice things like, yes, the multi-spoke black wheel, but behind it, a bigger than average brake. And on a small car, it really stands out. And then you see the slots. I used to call them cross-drilled and slotted rotors. These are just slotted rotors to be able to stop that huge power car. We also have a true active vent here. We got our GR badge. This one's been tinted, which I think really adds to it. A design thing that you have to only notice from certain angles and certain colors is the flares. It's almost like a wide body kit on this. In fact, that's a good point. I should tell you that with these Michelin Pilot Sport S, the fronts are 235/19s and the rears are also 235. It is a squared stance, which makes sense. We got those fender flares, which really start to make it look wide as you get to the back. Once you're at the back, the biggest, I would say, smoking gun here is actually 3 smoking guns, and that is those 3 exhaust tips. So how it works is the 2 exhausts are always active, and then the center is only apparently engaged when you're starting to rev it out, and that's to relieve some of that back pressure. Okay, the best way to demonstrate the exhaust is mic it up. If you weren't looking down there though, if you were like eyes up here, it looks just like a regular Corolla with a little bit of a wide body kit on it. And that's why it's so cool to me, because this car isn't about being flashy. I mean, the GR people know GR people for sure, but in normal traffic, it doesn't look like the almost, $60,000 Canadian car that it could be. But that's why I'm excited to drive it. And I think we just get right into the drive. Okay, so a couple things about the GR Corolla. This one is definitely a lower package because it's pretty plain inside. Fabric seats, they are heated, and they are like a bucket seat with actually like a simulated spot for a harness. We have a really cool switch here that I can't wait to play with. I did notice that the screen is just a normal screen out of a Corolla. That is one thing. Like, I told my fiance that what I was filming tonight and how excited I was, and she was like, "You're excited for a Corolla?" And I'm like, "Yeah. It's a GR Corolla. It's like my first true GR car." So that's pretty exciting. But to her point, there is some just regular Corolla bits to this thing. The engine is not one of them. The exhaust is not one of them. I can already tell you, after driving it for 3 seconds, the clutch is not one of them. The clutch is heavy, exactly the weight that you would want over something that is supposed to feel fun like this. Some piano black finishes. Honestly, pretty simple dashboard. Reminds me of a rally car. That's what this is supposed to be, rally car stuff. No sunroof, it's slick top. Everything is black inside, which I don't know, for some reason, I'm not a big black interior guy these days. For whatever the reason, it suits the car. Oof, little bit of turbo there. I like that. See if I can do that again. Second gear. Ooh, yeah, little blow off valve. I really like that. And by the way, for those viewers who are maybe just tuning into this channel for the first time, I'm a big car guy. So I have a Porsche 911, I have a Toyota Supra that's built 600 horsepower rear-wheel drive. So it's not like I'm just an average consumer when it comes to automotive that just like getting excited over a Corolla, a GR Corolla. This is like a true car enthusiast getting about it. Oh, by the way, there's a button called IMT, and it's rev matching. I'm gonna try that too. So if I go down a gear, we're gonna go in third just to try. If I go down, oh, beauty. I remember the first time I felt that was in a BMW M2 when it first came out. It's good. I know some people want to rev match themselves, but I kind of like that it does it for you. Very stable handling. I know there's a buddy of mine, Andrew, who's a big car guy as well. I recently reviewed his LC500, and we were talking about the GR Corolla, and he is just not a fan of them. So I was telling him that I'm gonna review this, and he admitted he's never driven one. And I thought, well, you can't be a fan or not a fan until you drive a GR Corolla. I think it's one of those types of cars. And I just love that it exists. Like Toyota, for a couple years there, made me think that there wasn't going to be stuff like this. I mean, we had Scion, it came and went. The GR86 stuck around, but we didn't know if there was gonna be much more than that. And now, Toyota's doing the exact opposite. We're seeing things like GR Corolla, we're hearing about a GR MR2, we know the GR GT is coming to a Lexus store near you pretty soon, and all of those cars are for enthusiasts. And the cool thing about Toyota, not a lot of people know, is our CEO, Akio, was like a professional race car driver under a fake name, because that's how sports focused he is. Wow, feels good. I used to have a manual Corolla back in the day too, I just remembered. It was not like this. This is nothing similar to that. All right, I'm just gonna do a little pull here. Beauty, wow, that's really good. We're gonna roll up the window. Yeah, it's punchy. Ooh, good, really good rev line there. Great noises, Toyota. Wow, and by the way, the handling is super stable. It is super point and shoot. It's not crazy fast. Like that didn't blow my face off, but it's good. I would say the thing I'm most impressed with is the handling. Even in normal mode, the car feels good. I'm gonna keep it in sport. So the center button, it's called the GR4 button, where you could actually balance where the power is going, whether it's the rear, the front. So you could do 60-40 for the front, okay, so 60% to the front. You could do 30-70, so 70 to the rear, or you could do track mode. And I think track mode must be like a squared setup. Brakes are really good, by the way, too. They don't really squeak or anything. Oh, so good. Even the higher rev is really nice sounding. It's a 3-cylinder. How cool is that? Reminds me of like a Golf R, I would say. My buddy just got a new Golf R, and I think I'm gonna do a video on that to compare it to this. So right now I'm in track mode. I just wanna see GT4 track, what that feels like around this corner. See, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's fun. It's a really fun, flickable car. I really do wish, there's a really cool car broken down on the side of the road. Beautiful car. It's probably fake, but it looks like an old Porsche. The only thing is I wish the back end was a little more tail happy. I heard on snow and rain and maybe like loose gravel roads, you get a bit more of that with this car, but regardless, it's fun. Like the thing about a small car with big horsepower is you can just like put that car through anything. You know, it makes you a better driver, and it rewards you for being a better driver, if that makes sense. And it's funny because when I borrowed this from Toyota, I made Joey promise me one thing. I said, don't let me buy it. I just recently bought another car. I'm getting rid of my demo for something really special. There's gonna be more on that soon. And because of that, me buying a GR Corolla was not in the wheelhouse of possibility for right now. I do wanna kind of launch it. There's no launch control, right? I don't know how you would do launch control. There's a couple things though. I wish the Corolla bits were not just Corolla bits, you know? Like the screen and a few things like that. Okay, I'm gonna try that tail happy thing real quick. These are really sticky tires too though. Yeah, it's so planted. And I think that has a lot to do with the handling. The tires are really, really planted. And by the way, it's got eco mode, it's got sport mode, it's got normal mode. Yeah, Solid car. I always said that this would be, if my sports cars were paid off and I needed a winter car, this would be it. I think this would be the funnest way to commute to work in the winter and or summer, because you can make it be good on fuel. So the average, okay, now obviously I've been ripping it a little bit on this trip, but nonetheless, it's at 9 liters per 100 right now. I bet you it gets way better than that if you go easy on it. Another car it reminds me of is the WRX from a couple years ago, like a 2018 WRX, which is probably the last WRX I ever drove. I didn't own it, I just drove it. Kind of reminds me of that. Although like the sport mode, I will say, you have to drive this in sport mode. The normal mode is kind of soft. It's a really solid transmission. You really feel the gears, something that I miss in a lot of new cars right now. And I'm having fun with that rev match. I think that's great. People are gonna be like, he's not a real car guy. He doesn't do his own rev matches. You have some amenities. Heated seats, heated steering wheel, or not heated steering wheel, heated wipers, a nice gauge cluster. It's a really beautiful gauge cluster. I would say high-end like the Lexus ones. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, basic screen, but it's there. Let's see, let's wind this up. Let's hit that rev limiter again. Oof, yes. Slap an exhaust on this thing, and I bet you that red line is wild. People don't realize Toyota and Lexus have some great red line sounds. It's just people don't drive them hard enough to get there. The LC, the RCF, this GR Corolla, when you hit that rev line, it's like those hard chops. Oh, it's my absolute favorite. Also, how cool is it? It has a physical handbrake, so you could really rip around corners and yank it. No pun intended. Okay, let's try it. So it's a 6-speed. Let's just put it in 6. There we go. You're cruising on the highway. 6 gear is almost useless, actually. It's really overdrive. I would say it almost doesn't even like that. The 5 is where it's at. Red line is like 7,000. So being in 5th highway speed, you're at like 3,000. Yeah, really cool car. It's more solid than the name presents, especially the handling. Wow, this is a really fun car. Like the front end, and that's just technology, I guess now, like engineering technology. The front end just goes where you want it to go. And that automatic rev match is great. By the way, here's another thing I always forget to talk about. Like there's no wind noise. You could tell the build quality is there. Everything feels solid. I know our video guy, Bhaskar, he doesn't get excited over cars. He was excited over this one. This is like, you know, when we make it, you know, this is gonna be the car he wants to buy. He's a Toyota guy, drives a RAV. This would be the car he would buy. Super solid car, I really want one. I truly mean that. How many cars on this channel have I said I wanna buy? And it's not even a Lexus, but it's kind of a Lexus because it's a GR. It's a true GR. And here's the thing about GR. It's reigniting my already lifelong passion of motorsports. For a couple years there, like yes, I've always had the Subaru. I've had it for the last, 15 years. There's some years that I didn't drive it much. I got into other hobbies, motorcycles, stuff like that. And now over the last couple years, I've been getting really back into automotive, like true motorsports automotive. And Toyota doing GR cars, Gazoo Racing, and coming up with the GR GT, and announcing that even to sell a GR GT at your dealership, you're gonna learn how to race cars. It's just, to me, it's just bringing back the gentleman's sport, ladies and gentlemen sport of motorsports. And if that's not the headline of this video, I don't know what should be. Driving this car with a beautiful sunset in the background right now on a hot summer day, it really excites me. I don't think I missed anything. The pedals are like metal, which is kind of nice. Again, dashboard, injected plastic. There is some material on the doors. The doors are solid, by the way, super solid doors. I knew it, it's Japanese built. I wondered if it was Japanese built. Just bare necessities, but this is all I need in a car. Driving position is great. Yeah, what else is there to need? I'm telling you. Okay, now that I'm back from the drive, I want to touch on a few things. One of them is the size of the rear seat. Even though it is a 4-door hatch, is it practical? And actually, when I Googled this on the internet, everybody said that the rear seat is small. And of course it is, but my legs fit. I have an armrest. There is a couple amenities like USB-C. So if you had to, yeah, you could use this for passengers. Let's check the trunk out, because the thing about the trunk is there is a differential underneath it. So it's a little higher than you might expect. There's some storage. There's some capacity for some stuff. The battery's back here. Oh, interesting. That could be some weight balancing there. Again, it's not crazy. You fold down those seats, you would have some space for some stuff. But let's wrap this up and go overall what I think. Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts about this car now that I've driven it. Number one is, if I didn't have a summer sports car and want a winter daily, and I needed to get rid of both of those, the GR Corolla would be that. Because it's Toyota reliability, it's Japanese built, the quality is amazing, you could drive it every day, and also you could have some fun with it. You could put it in a rally mode, you know, put that 70% to the rear, 30% to the front setup, drift around a corner on your way to work, have some fun with it. It's a manual that feels amazing. You wouldn't even have to modify it, maybe exhaust. I bet you could get a little bit more volume out of that exhaust. The wheels already are good, the suspension is already good. All of those things combined are really amazing. And yes, you're gonna look at the price tag. I think it's like over 40,000 USD. It's close to like 55,000 Canadian. That is a lot of money for something with a Corolla badge. But it's almost like Toyota shouldn't have called it the GR Corolla at all, because it's so much different than a regular Corolla. Other than maybe some headlights and taillights, it could have been called the GR hatchback. And reviewing this car reminds me of what started all this for me to begin with. That was those Top Gear episodes from Top Gear UK back in the day. And you would see Jeremy Clarkson just falling in love with a hot hatchback that made no sense to like the average consumer, but to the car enthusiast, it made perfect sense. And that is exactly how I feel with this GR Corolla. Toyota did something. It said, instead of a 4-cylinder turbo like everybody's doing, let's make a 3-cylinder all-wheel drive that has 300 horsepower, 100 per cylinder, just to be different, just to maximize on that balance, that front and rear weight distribution, to create a driving experience similar to a price point like a Porsche or a high-end luxury sedan like an S7 or something like that. In the Audi world, it would probably be the RS3. That is what Toyota did here. And I wonder if this is gonna trickle into what we're gonna see with this GR brand. We know the GR GT is coming and it's gonna be absolutely amazing. It's gonna be sold at Lexus dealerships. We know that Toyota has all these plans for the MR2, which is another nostalgic 90s kind of sports car. If this is like, to me, this is like the Celica GT4 in my opinion. And actually, it even says GT4 on the side skirt, which is another homage to Toyota Racing and Gazoo Racing. The real question is, did it impress me the way I was so excited to see? And I said this to the videographer as soon as we parked. Two things. One, the 300 horsepower didn't seem as brute force as for some reason I was like expecting. And that's okay. It was more like you had to wind it up and then it was there and you could stay in those high revs. But the real shocker was the way the handling felt. It was so planted, so tight, almost heavy because it was so balanced so perfectly. You could go around a corner, just point and have fun going slow or fast, just like a 911. And all this for a car that you could drive to work every day. And by the way, another thing is you could blend into traffic. You don't have to make a statement with the GR Corolla. This could be something you park amongst your fellow coworkers and no one ever knows that this is a special car. And sometimes that's kind of cool. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think the GR Corolla is worth the price point? Or would you go to, you know, maybe the Golf R, maybe the RS3, maybe the WRX? And should I do more of these style videos? One more time, I'm Dustin Mason from Performance Lexus in St. Catharines. Big shout out to Performance Toyota for supplying this beautiful 2024 GR Corolla, and it's still for sale. So if you're interested, reach out to Joey or Mike over there, and those guys will definitely hook it up.